Okay, so it is recording, right? Okay, let's see. I thought the camera was on, but all right. So let me enter the class. So this is for LearnShip, right? Oh, it's got to be with their camera now. Okay, so I see. So now I'm joining, and now you can see me. Okay. So anyway, this is Cliff Tom. I wish they had a back here. This back is very unflattering. So this is German-based LearnShip. Right. Wow. I've coached for so many different programs, but this is with my good business English student, Jianlin. Jianlin? Yes, Jianlin. So, in terms of linguistics, pardon me, in academia, so I think the best from what I've assessed from her is to use business terms. Let me hold on. Let me try to sort this out. So I should be welcoming her in a minute here. Uh, to sort out. So let's do this first. Open in Google Chrome. Okay. Because I don't know if I can use this, but you can't use the bit. You have to upload it, but this is just fine here for me. So use that. Okay, Substack. So, right, is to use words, right, hence the English language, is to use words and have them apply it because they're not in academia. And she seems to like it, right? I've left it at whatever, obviously, to the paying clients, whatever she would like to do. But since she needs to speak in business English fashions to clients as well as have meetings with her bosses, right, is to use business English words appropriately and to use them effectively. And because nowadays, right, everything is, you can easily translate online in every language, right, in every app. But for her, she needs to effectively use it fluently, rapidly, I guess, or within a certain time frame. She needs to be live and actually use business English with her clients. So I feel like having this and doing it this way is pretty good. Yeah. So let me just maintain this. So I think she can see this, right? And then I just bring this down. So yeah, I'm still getting acclimated to using this. It's slick looking. All due respect, LearnShip. If anybody watches my videos, I have more videos online now. I use it for posterity and for my own research. I do actually subscribers. I've got more videos than subscribers, but it's just I think it's a good storage spot. And the irony is that Google charges us now. Wants to charge us for space, but then they don't charge, right? They don't know that their own YouTube that they own is we use it for space. So in space. So anyway, yeah. So just waiting on Jin Lian. So I'll just wait, turn off my camera, wait for her. Hey, there's Jin Okay, hello, Jin Oh, 音乐 Hello, Jin hello. Hello,
Sorry.
yes, hello. Yinyu, you can hear the fireworks here in Dongbei. Yinyu, pong, pong, pong. How are you today?
Um, yeah, it's okay. Or
Good,
the
good,
weather
good.
is so hot.
Yes, yeah, I was thinking, my God, it's hot in Dongbei, Liaoningsheng, right? It's hot up here.
It's,
So it must be very
it's also
hot, right,
hot in
in Guangdong.
Liaoning. I thought it may be suitable in Liaoning now.
No, it's hot here, right? It's still
Oh,
hot. In the morning it starts to get cool, right, towards
oh.
September. Um, it's very similar
How about
my
now?
yeah, to my home city
Here
of
it's 34.
Oh wow. My God, yeah. So very similar to Chicago, my home city in USA,
Yeah,
Chicago. So it's the
yeah,
same latitude, right? The same weather.
yeah,
But I think when it gets like September, when it gets cold in Liaoning, it really like dong right? It really becomes winter, right? It really
yeah.
becomes cold. But yeah, it's still hot today. I don't know. It's not 30 Celsius, right? In America, we do Fahrenheit, right? We do so. It's I don't know. It's maybe 80 degrees, so maybe like 26 or something like this. But yeah, it's still
Yeah,
hot today. Yeah, it's still hot.
yes, so
But
hot.
but
Here is
Guangzhou.
34.
Wow, my God, my goodness! Afterwards after our meeting, I'll research how hot it is, right? In
Yeah.
Guangzhou now
Yeah, now I'm in Jiangsu, not in Guangdong.
You are in
Yeah.
Jiangsu.
Jiangxi.
Jiangxi, 没事, Jiangxi.
Yeah.
Okay, but where's your company? You are based in Guangzhou.
Yes, my
Okay,
company in Guangzhou.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, it's the same
Yeah, my
like
hometown is Jiangxi.
Guangxi. Ah, and it's hot there too now.
Yeah,
Wow,
Jiangxi is so hot. I think the weather is maybe the temperature is higher than Guangdong.
wow.
Because my husband is still working in Guangdong now, and
Okay, wow.
he said it's not so hot like my hometown now.
Yeah, well, we don't have to go the full 1 hour, right? We'll do like, a half hour. We'll do a little bit.
Yeah, I
If
don't
you're
want to go
tired, it's
out. Just
okay.
don't stay at home.
Yeah, if you're tired, it's okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Hong Kong is gets very humid, right? Hanro, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hong Kong.
Yeah,
Everything. I've had friends who are bankers, right? Ying Hang
yeah,
Ren, right? And they have to wear the tie in Hong Kong,
yeah,
and I'm like, no
yes,
way, like, like
yeah. My husband's work is he is works in the home in the bank, so he must
your husband.
wear, yeah, yes.
Wow.
So
Wow,
it's so
yeah.
hot.
Hendara Guanxi, we'll get Hendara Guanxi. When you're inside, it's okay, but right when you
Yeah,
get
inside
outside,
water
it's
is
like
yeah,
like yeah,
yes,
that's crazy. Like yeah, all my friends, many friends used to work in Hong Kong, right, for business and wear the suit and
yeah,
the tie, idea, right? And it's just like no way, I cannot do this. Like I wear a dress shirt for a
mm-hmm.
university, but not a tie.
Yeah,
Like yeah, we
yes,
don't wear a tie, but a dress shirt is okay. But when you're like, it's like yeah, it's too crazy.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we
They
can
ask
work.
for the world. Yes.
Yes, yes, it's yeah, uh, yeah. That's the one thing. It's we're all professional, but the men still in the world, right? Still like for business, still have to wear the tie.
Yeah.
And I always go like, oh, we all want to be equal, men and women. I go, well, why? So the men still have to wear the tie, but the women don't have to wear the tie. I thought we were equal now, right? But no, 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 no.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see? You can see the this one, the business English.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, I
cool.
can.
So I thought we can just do these. I pulled up two that we did yesterday, and
Yeah.
if I could change my doctorate, so my PhD is healthcare again, right? Healthcare.
Mm,
But I love language, right? I love language so much. It's so interesting. So this is why we assess like what you need, right? Learnship. We assess what the students need. For you, do you think this
mm.
helps you to do what we're
Yes,
doing?
it's helpful. Yeah, I think it's helpful. Because most of times I want to talk with somebody, but maybe I have a good idea, but maybe I can't communicate with them smoothly or have the um can't tell with them for the the vocabulary with
Right. Right.
the correct words. Maybe
Right.
I just tell them the meaning, but I think this is not convenient to communication.
Yes, but believe me, I've coached many people. Your English is very good, right? So you need confidence.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
我不到在汉语可以，对啊，就是I get my
Yeah,
Chinese.
I just think
什么？
what I want to say what I want them to know. So maybe
Yes,
not
yes.
the words it is, but maybe they can know what's the
Yes,
meaning
well,
of
it like I think
the sentence.
English and Chinese especially, like I know, I've learned language many different, but it's difficult to be fluent. What you think if you are fluent in one, right? You still quite, but
Yeah.
Chinese and English, I feel are very different. Two of the most
Yes,
different,
and most of
right?
them we have to translate the Chinese to English. I think
Yes.
this is not the correct way to
Yeah.
communicate in English.
Yes,
But
right,
it's
right.
important to know all the maybe the culture,
Yes. Yes.
the history of the English.
Yes, and so it's amazing. Like for when I'm with my mother, my older, very old 老人在美国, right? And they always like, oh, Cliff, we go to a Chinese restaurant. Speak to
Yeah.
the 服务员,就是那个你会talk,然后那个服务员 in English, right? Speak to them, like Baba, go ahead. We want to see, right? So I do it, and they're like, wow, like my family, like you can speak Chinese. And then they say they want
Yeah.
me to say 夫人,有人可以, they want me to translate. And in my head
Yeah.
I'm like, if I like it doesn't make sense because it's so different, our languages.
Yes.
Right? That it's like if I can't really I can translate, but it's not like thought for thought, right? It's so different.
Yeah.
So it takes
Yes.
for me this is like it takes so much practice. Like if I lived in France or Spain.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
your Chinese is very good.
Oh, bizoi. No, it's horrible. But like for me, like I studied like Western languages and Eastern languages, right? So
Yeah.
for me, I think Japanese, right, or Chinese more similar, right? The family of languages, right?
Yeah.
So I think it would be easier for you, right? Maybe to learn Japanese, right?
Yeah,
For
Japanese and Korea.
yeah. So like for me, if I lived in Paris or if I lived in France or Italy for like 1 month, it would be very much quicker for me to think
Yeah.
and to speak in that language. I've lived in China now, 10年, right? 10 years. And I still like, it's still, I have to think and translate, right? Yeah, it's just interesting.
I have met someone. He's from Japan, and he said he stayed in China for 1 year, but he can speak Chinese very well.
Yes,
Wow,
yes,
so it's
yes.
difficult for me to speak Japanese if I just stay 1 year in Japan.
I don't know. I think it's the same, the similar, right? So like in
Yeah.
French we have immersive, right? Immersive. It's the same word pronounced
Yeah.
differently. Right? We are from the same history of words. This is why linguistics, right? It's the study of
Yeah.
language, right? So I find it very fascinating. the history
Mm-hmm.
of language, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like you are in the same family, the Korean, China,
Mm-hmm.
Japan, right? In terms
Mm-hmm.
of drawing your words, right?
Yeah.
And then it moved like Thailand, Yunnan, right? And you same tones, but different
Mm-hmm.
ways that you say this, right?
Yes.
When I travel to, have you ever been to Hanoi in Vietnam?
Uh-huh.
Have you been? 你知道 there's a Yunnan Hanoi Zhongsher. Have you been there,
Uh,
Jillian?
I
Ha-
have went there 3 years ago
ah,
during the
okay.
yeah,
Now,
Lijiang.
I find the tones very similar to China.
Yeah.
So when I'm like, oh my God, are they like 他们会中文, right? Like I listen and I'm walking by and I hear the sounds, but it's different
Yeah.
different placements, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't mean the same. It doesn't mean the same. It's different placements. But like, my God, that sounds like they're speaking Chinese, but it's not,
Yeah.
right. It's not. The
Yeah.
same. Yeah.
For different province, we maybe have different languages.
Right.
Uh,
For sure.
we can speak Chinese for the format language, but we have our own language.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
for
because
different
like
province.
today I go
Only for
shopping, right? And
different
I'm
cities.
老外, 就是你看我面子, I'm 老外, right? But I go,
Yeah.
especially in Dongbei. But my Chinese is good enough with 就是那个农民来的，就是我会没事没问题 right? I don't 那个工作中文就是不到了 right? That's why I give you so much respect because you are it's business English is great and medical English right are two or medical language and business language two different level right. This is why you go to business school in your own countries, right? Or medical, right? It's another language. So I give you much respect, right, for this one. But I can speak to the farmers, right? No problem, right? And they're always like, "Wow, Kaya!" This is like they think I'm Chinese, so they want to know. Where are you from? Like in China, like, right? And I'm like, yeah, 对，我是新疆人，对啊, I think I'm from Xinjiang or
Yeah.
something like, right?
Yes,
Because,
you
yeah,
stay there.
yeah, it's just a different, but because I don't speak Dongbei talk, right? Which
Mhm.
is like my wife and her family. I think I told you, it's big on the R, right? Idea, 就是 R, war, 你去哪里, 就是 R, right? It's like heavy R sounds in
Yeah.
Dongbei. Have you been to Dongbei? Have you been to
Yeah, I
Xi'an?
went to Dalian
Ah, right. Yeah.
and Harbin. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Well, they told maybe for something too much 老多了.
老多了，可以，对啊。But it's like it's so Dalian. Yeah, it's still the same though. But Sheung is the heart. 就是那个信，东北信，可以 right? So it is like
Yeah.
like many. They come from all of the smaller 就是上中学就是他们说那个 right? So they come all the So this is where my university. But Dalian, I was a professor at Liaoning
Yeah.
University of Business, right? 4 years ago, right before the virus.
Yeah.
So Dalian is a little bit more multicultural. But Shenyang, yeah, my God, it's rar. Like, 我听不懂，我会中文。
Yeah, they like the hall.
Yes, yes,
They think the hall.
yeah,
And everyone went there. They will ask you to have to go to the restaurant and to taste their food
yes.
and ask you to drink somewhere.
Some baijiu. Yeah,
Yes.
yes. Yeah, I love if I have to. Hopefully, my wife, my son, when he gets older, hopefully my son can travel, see more of China. I haven't been to Xi'an. I want to go visit. Mingbalukan or the
Oh,
warriors. But also, I love Sichuan, right? I love Sichuan province. I love
yeah. So
La,
the food will
La
not
Huagua.
too spicy for you.
No, I love it. I love spicy food. This is
You like
why.
spicy
Yeah,
food.
La Huagua. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the food in Jiangxi is also spicy.
Yeah. Oh, great. Yes.
Yes,
Maybe yeah,
if
I
you
need to
have
come.
time, you can come to
Yes.
welcome to Jiangxi,
Yes. Yes.
Jiangxi
Of course.
Nantang, or maybe Jiangxi Ganzhou.
Yes. Yes. And
Yeah, the
I
food is
love
also spicy.
Xiamen, Fujian,
Yeah,
Xiamen is
Xiamen. Yeah,
yeah, it's a
I also
beautiful.
went there for 2 years for
Wow.
the business. Yes.
Wow, great. Yeah, I think we talked about this. But they have their own language too. Fujian,
Yes.
right? Like it's like,
Yes.
wow, like are you
Yes.
speaking? Yeah. But everybody in China can still speak Mandarin, right? When they want to, right?
Yes.
But in
Because
Dongbei, they like
when
Dongbei Tua,
come
like when with the
in.
families together, I can't understand my wife's family when they speak together. I like 你会中文吗? Are you speaking Chinese? Like I don't know, right? Like,
Yes,
yeah,
because in the when we study, we use the language
right.
China, the format Chinese.
Yes,
But
yes,
when we maybe growing
yes.
in our hometown, we will have our own language, and we
Yes.
can we can change them in everywhere with different environments and with different people.
Right, right. The same in the US, but we still not as much. In England, they have it's funny in England, the
Yeah.
small island, but they still have problems. They still have regional dialects.
Oh,
We do if you are from like California, Texas, right?
yeah,
It's a little bit of the South, but
yeah.
it's not as bad as like England, Ingwa, right? They're still
Yeah.
pretty bad. But yeah, I didn't really understand this until I taught here in Dongbei for several years, and then
Mhm.
I went to Zhejiang, right, outside of
Yeah,
to
good.
teach at a university outside of Shanghai. And Shanghai, oh my God, Shanghai Tua, God, yeah,
Yeah.
that's like crazy, right?
Shanghai, Hangzhou.
Yeah, yeah, different, and then
Yeah.
different cities like Jiaxing. I was in
Mhm.
They have different dialects, right? So I was in
Yes.
Jiaxing, Zhejiang, and one of my
Yeah,
college students.
they imposed we told there as 吴侬软语.
Okay, all right,
Yes.
yes. Yeah, and my one of my students said, did you ever teach in Dongbei in northeastern
Yeah.
China?" I go, "What? What do you mean?" Because I speak some Chinese if I see them
Yeah,
sleeping,
yeah,
right? I speak so that I wake
yeah.
them up. And she goes, because you say some things in Dongbei Tua. I go, "What? I didn't know there was something that was different, right? I thought it was all
Yes.
Chinese, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Different provinces have different the how to say 发音.
Sounds, ting.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
tones.
Sounds.
Yeah,
Yeah. Different.
yeah,
So if we heard that, we can determine maybe we can determine which
yeah,
province he is.
yeah. Again, like I always equate it to Megwa, like USA. Like if your English is so, if you came, you would have no problem communicating anywhere in the U.S., right? But if you came to like my family in Chicago, right?
Mhm.
It's like lao 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 la, right? Like if we went to a bar, if my family we were having beers, and it's like 今天 like 你知道我 okay, right? If you understood us, maybe no, right? Well, think about all right. It's the same. Like
Yes.
if when you're with your family, right, and your
Mm.
community, maybe, right, it's like your own language, right? But yeah, it's funny. Oh, Dongbei, it's like every day I go out, right, and it's like it's so funny. So like
Mhm.
I can speak with an old Lao Ma, right, and they're like, wow, I can maybe like us, like for a half an
Yeah.
hour, have a great conversation, right? And then I go
Yes.
right next door. They look at my face. 听不懂, ni lao wai. Like they just, it's like it's amazing. Like it's like, what do you mean? I
Yes.
just talk to your
Yeah,
neighbor
maybe
for.
the both of that the from the other
well, I can
Because
go to like 一个
from
Jiang
other
Jiang Jiang,
province
对
it's not so Dongbei. Yeah.
Yeah, I can go to every shop. So I go to one shop and I have a great conversation for like a half an hour,
Mm,
right? About
mm,
everything. We laugh. And then literally I go to
mm,
buy like, something right next door and the boss there goes, "
mm.
听不懂,你老外," like they
Yeah.
can't, right? I'm like, "What?" like yeah. It's crazy. It's interesting. So,
Yes.
okay,
And
we
I
can
have heard, heard some I have watched some video. The the Dongbei person they they talk to the U.S. people and just talk with Dongbei Hua, but
Yo.
yeah he can't understand. He don't know,
Yeah.
and the man he thought maybe my I speak with lower lane, so he speak louder. He
Right.
thought maybe he
Yeah.
can understand, but no, you
Yeah.
can't understand for
Yeah.
anything.
See, I'm loud. I have bad hearing anyway, and I'm a teacher, so I always scream. Just 我吵得开, so and then Dongbei, so now I'm even louder. 很大的吵的, like
Yeah.
living in Dongbei. But
Yes.
they're great people, and they're very proud. 他们就是那个招人的, right? They think Dongbei 还有意, right? They think like northeastern China is
Yes.
the best, right? And it's like, oh, come on, like I don't think any country is the best. I don't think any world, I think our world we are all one people, right? But
Yeah.
in Dongbei it's Dongbei 还有一中国, and I'm like, oh, 我知道, 没问题, right? Like I'm just a
They are
foreigner.
confident and
Yes,
friendly.
yes. They're very, and like more than any other part of China, they all have a picture of
Mm-hmm.
Mao Zedong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Everyone loves Mao Zedong, right? 就是Mao就是东北来的, sure. So
Yeah.
they just yeah, it's very difficult to have them live anywhere else, right? Like my wife,
Mm-hmm.
when we lived in Sichuan when she was pregnant, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
always remember, and my Chinese, I think has gotten better, every day, right? I try,
Yes.
but again, you don't know, right? But when
Ukraine is
we,
better.
right?
I think Chinese is good
Oh,
enough to
yes,
communicate with everyone in China.
right. But when we were driving, taking a taxi. I don't know where we were going. 他们在哪里我不知道. The panda, maybe the panda zoo. I think we were taking a long
Yeah.
journey, and so it was the guy, obviously Sichuan ran, 就是那个出租车人
Yeah.
Sichuan 来的, And so he's like, they're just talking, and then the conversation they're talking about like history. My wife's in front with him, and I'm like, uh-oh. Like sometimes I don't know if people are fighting, right? Especially in Dongbei Tua, because they're so loud, 很大的抽的, right? Or they're just having a conversation.
Yeah,
So then
yeah,
next thing I know, they're having like literally yelling,
Yes.
and he said, "You're like you basically in Chinese, in English, like, well, you Dongbei people,
Mhm.
you're not real Chinese or something. You're not real China." And my wife was like, she was going to like choke him. She's like, "What are you talking about? We're Mao Zedong people. We are China, right?" And it was almost like, thankfully, we got to the zoo because they were
Yeah.
so angry. And she didn't even, she left because if it was closer, they would have gotten in a fight like before, right? And then, she just storms out. I was like, 不好意思,就是我跟你那个有消费, right? I'm like, I'm so sorry. Oh, she was so angry. My wife hardly ever, she's like, she's got like a, like her face is, white. But she got red.
Yeah.
红色, it's just so red. So it was so funny because I was like, my God,
Yeah,
the
maybe
regional. Yeah.
everywhere has someone not so friendly for others.
Yeah.
Not only for you, maybe also for us.
Yeah.
Chinese people
Yeah.
from other province. When we go to another province, maybe we will face the same situation.
Yeah, interesting, right? And the same history. So many countries have this history. So my
Yeah.
family, my great, Tan Tan Tan, Nai Nai. So she was from Italy, right? And the same between the
Yeah.
north and the south, right? They
Mm-hmm.
fought so many times. So her family
Yeah.
never went to the south, right? They say like
Oh.
fangula, like fuck you, right? They're like fuck, like we're not going. And Italy is a
Uh,
very small country, right? So they just
yeah.
don't travel, right? So America, like we travel, we will get in fights like for sports, right? Like sports teams,
Mm,
but
yeah.
like we're not. I mean, we're violent. We have guns. Like we're crazy people. Like Megwa, like
Oh
it said,
yes.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
crazy, but it's not really regional. I don't think we get in fights like when like I've got friends everywhere in America. Like I don't say
Mm,
like, "Oh, you're California." Like
mm,
maybe if we have the sports teams, right?
mm-hmm.
But we're not such an old country. We're a young country, so we don't really
Yeah.
have that fight. We did have the
Mm,
war, you remember, just Nu Li, just
mm,
Fei Nu Li,
mm,
right? We had the Civil War because of slavery. So maybe it
yeah.
was the North and South, but now, we don't care. We have Hendara, just a Hey Sura, Feng Sura,
Together.
just right? Like we've got everybody from around the world. So we just don't,
Yes.
yeah. So it's interesting when I come to countries that have like inner
Mm.
fighting, right?
Yes, and maybe
Yeah.
when you go to Zhejiang, uh, maybe Jiangsu and Suzhou, Hangzhou,
Yeah.
and maybe they are in the same province, but the people in the city they will think the they don't like the people from other city.
Wow,
Maybe
it's so
the problem
bizarre. Yeah,
Hangzhou,
Suzhou is a
Jiangsu.
beautiful city. Have you been to Suzhou?
Oh yes,
Oh, that's
yeah. I
beautiful.
also
Yeah.
stayed there for 1 year.
Yeah, wow. I'm very jealous. You've been everywhere in China.
No, not everywhere.
Yeah.
There's still so many where I haven't
Where
go
else
to.
would you like to visit? Have you been to Xinjiang? Have you been to Xinjiang in the west?
No, I
Ah.
want to.
Yeah, it looks very much like Dongbei a little bit, right? Of course,
Mm,
Hendara Musalimra, right, in Xinjiang.
yeah,
Yeah. Um,
I want to. I want to travel to uh, Guizhou, Guilin.
you just brought up this is my city. I really want to go. It's
Yeah,
Guizhou.
I want
Yeah.
to go for several years, but yeah,
Yeah.
haven't.
Yeah, no, I really so beautiful, right? Those mountains.
Mhm,
And I wanted to travel to Sanya, Hainan with my wife.
mhm.
I bought tickets, but she did not go. We
Oh,
were
also for the Hainan.
Yeah, so I need to go
Yeah,
there
I also
too.
want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, China is too big, so
Yeah.
many
The
cities.
same, the same. It's the same size as Australia, Australia, and USA, right? We are all the same size, the same mass,
Yeah,
right? Many
yeah.
places USA, like I love USA. If you come, right, Seattle, I like the corners, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Seattle, San Diego, New Year,
Yeah,
Miami, but in the
yeah,
middle, like Ibariban, I
yeah.
never, yeah, like it's still beautiful, but I never go, right? Like I always
Mm-hmm.
fly over. Um,
Mm.
yeah, I'd like to visit. It's so close as Australia, Australia is closer,
I
right?
think if we if you want to go to everywhere in China, maybe need half a year
Yeah,
or 1 year. I think
yeah.
maybe.
They do this with a tourist visa, right? Which is great, but you cannot work, right, with a tourist
Mm,
visa.
yeah.
But it's for 10 years, right? 10年, it's great, right? With China, the tourist
Mm-hmm.
visa. You can stay for 2 months, right? RU. And then,
Mm-hmm.
but then you must leave, right? For 2 months. But 2 months you can
Oh, two
travel.
months.
Yeah, for 2 months
Yeah.
you could travel all of China, right? So I think that's a good
Mm-hmm.
idea, right? For
Yeah.
that visa. And it's good for 10 years so you can keep coming back, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I might, yeah, if I leave again, this is what I would get, right? Again, is the tourist
Yeah.
visa, because then I'd come see my wife's family and then, tour, go around,
Mm-hmm.
and then leave.
So next city where you want to go?
Yeah, 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 yeah. We'll see. I think maybe this will be this year. Hayuga Mimi sumo. But this might be my last year in Great China. I think 10 years it was good, and then now my son
Yeah.
is older, so then hopefully he
Mm,
can, maybe we go to USA or somewhere. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, China is so big. The same with, like, I mean, accents, right? British accent, Audalia, right?
mm,
G'day, I'm from down under in Australia, right? It's a totally
mm.
different accent, right? Even though we speak the same
Yeah.
language. Um, yeah, it's funny because, like I told you, right? This is what I use for my self study, and I find it's really good.
Mhm,
Let me
mhm.
see, Jinlia. So this is the program, right? Um, and I highly recommend this. Don't This will get me in trouble with LearnShip, right? By giving you, but I think, right, is the Rosetta Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very immersive, and you can learn many different languages. It's not a set. You can learn
Mhm.
all the languages in the world. You can buy it for your lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you can, every language, and it's very immersive. But they don't have regional accents, right? They do have
Mm,
American English and British English, but, right, they don't have the different. They don't have Australian English, right? Um, so again, as much
actually, I don't know what's the kind of English I have learned.
your English is good. I
American
think
or
yours is
English?
pretty xiaji England, right? Yours is pretty standard. I think so.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so. I don't really hear. I think maybe you've had more British. Have you had more American? The Megwalausha in your lifetime? Just a Daswe, just a
I
Megwalausha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
because
The teacher,
I don't hear
Japanese,
British sounds and tones from you, right? The British are
also
more
Chinese.
high. It's like we'll go to the, right. It's like Cantonese, right? We'll go to
Yeah.
British English. I don't
Mm.
hear this from you. I think you,
Um.
yeah. Have you had more American teachers from Canada and USA?
No. All my teacher is Chinese.
Ah, really?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay,
We
interesting.
we learn English from the book
Right. Yeah, not
and
applied. Yeah.
Chinese
Yeah,
teachers.
yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 And I look, much respect. My mother was a French teacher, Fagua Lao Sha, Yinwei Tasamegwa
Uh-huh.
later, right? She was American. So I have much
Mm.
respect for teachers who are not native speakers who teach a foreign language,
Yes.
right? But sometimes they can be lazy, Taman Lain Ran, right? They don't speak with their students, right? They just
Mm.
have them chong fua,
Yes.
right? Apple, right? They don't apply the language. So I
Yes. And
yeah.
maybe uh, they also don't have the opportunity to communicate with the U.S. people or
Yeah, for
American
sure.
people.
Yeah,
Yes.
and what major just boy we'll get Thomas Hendalik ones, yeah. Right. Much
Mm.
respect. But it's always like, how are you? I am fine. Right. What is your
Thank
name?
you.
Right. Yes.
Thank you.
Right. It's always like Robot Niga Jiran. Yeah. How are
Yeah,
you? Right.
just
Like,
like a
no,
robot.
no. Right. How are you doing? I'm fine. Right. Tian tian tian. Di
Yes.
chuang. Okay. Right. That's the only way I think to learn. I think
The
every
first
subject.
English session in school is Hi Lily.
Yeah.
Hi
Yes.
Mei.
Yes. 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 Yes, this is the word, right? And I think in many subjects, right, you can do applied mathematics, right? Applied language, applied science, mathematics, right? Is when we use this. It's called applied, right?
Yeah,
To actually
right.
use this, and that's the title of the classes, right? In
Yeah.
the Dashway, right? Shifu Dashway, your masters and your PhDs, to actually use it, to use the knowledge, right? Not just, how are you? I am fine. Chong Fu, how are you, right? You need to actually use it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. But all right, Jinlian, yeah, let's yeah. Well, we're almost done anyway. We talk so much today, right? So, well, let's just do let's do one because tomorrow, 明天. So how about we'll do
Yeah.
this one today, and then if you want to take a break, it's hot, and then tomorrow we'll, from what we've learned, 昨天就是我说昨天就是今天 right today, and then tomorrow I'll give you like a little test to practice what we've done.
Wow.
No pressure.
Wow.
不按. But no, like just and I think I think this is a good idea. I was trying to think again about linguistics, in that,
Okay.
can you still see this? You can still see immersive.
Yeah,
Over,
I can
okay.
see.
It's like for you to like these big words, 很大的字, right? So like when you like before work, right? You're going to, I'm going to speak maybe some English with Japan today, or maybe right, maybe a German client, right, today. So pick like immersive, just one word, and say, I'm going to say this word today, right? Think to yourself, I'm going to say immersive today, right? Some way, somehow, right? I'm going to use this word, right, at work, because that is the only way you can remember something, right, is to use it, right, and apply it. Otherwise, right, it can leave. Like I think I learn Chinese new words every day, but unless I actually use it, right? The old phrase is this, right? In English is use it or lose it, right? Meaning like if you don't use it, you forget it, right? So I think for yourself, for business English, just pick one word a day and just say, Jinlia, I'm going to use this word, right? Some way, somehow,
Okay.
right, in my conversations today. All right, Jinlia, we can just do this one, just 3 words. And then tomorrow,
Okay.
right? I'll give you a little test tomorrow, okay? No pressure, no pressure. All right, Jinlia, right?
Okay.
So immersive means, right, providing stimulation for a number of senses, right? This is a great word for studying, right? To immerse yourself into the language, to immerse yourself into wenhua, into culture, right? Immerse yourself into business. So so for example, our virtual reality software, this is good for you, right? Is fully immersive, right? You can jump right into it, allowing users to feel like they're in person, right? So I will use this, right, because I was in business sales, right, more business sales. So I will say,
Yes.
Jinlia, I just met with one of our clients. I'm trying to make the sales approach very immersive, allowing them to engage me more with what they want from our products and services. Okay, so this is a big word. Try to use this for your job, right?
Yeah. We want to ask for more to ask a more virtual environment for us to have a immersive testing in this new environment too.
Excellent. That was perfect. That was very good,
Yeah.
right? And using bigger words, it makes you seem smarter, right? Right. So with your boss from Japan, they'll be like, "Wow, Jin Lian, right? Wow, her English is right. She's like now a master, right? All right, overwhelming. This is another big word, right? So it's a very great number or effect. I don't know if it's confusing. I disagree with him, right? This Kevin George. To be overwhelmed, it means just like 就是你看就是很大的问题，因为就是 right. It's not a problem, right? It's like you think you have many problems. It's just a lot of things to do, right? To be overwhelmed. So due to the stalemate in negotiations, I had an overwhelming urge to break off talks. Okay. So again, from sales point of view, I would say, or just, I'd be like, Jinlian, well, Pengyo, right, my friend, I am very overwhelmed because I've had to go out on many sales clients meetings, right, over the last week. I'm very overwhelmed, so I'm very tired. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How do you think you could use overwhelmed or overwhelming for your job?
Mm, the task won't feel so overwhelming if you break it down into small,
Yeah.
it's
Small.
easy to accomplish it by steps.
Yes. Yeah. Small things. Dong 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 se. Right. If you break it down into small things, right, or small parts.
Small
Yeah.
things,
Yeah, yeah,
small
good,
parts.
good, 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 good. This is another great word. I like using these words. So, intangible means something that's non existent, right? It doesn't exist. Just a hui, right? It doesn't exist. Versus tangible. Tangible is like just like a beza, right? Something you can touch, right? Is tangible. Intangible would be like you are a software developer, software designer. That is all intangible software, right? It's not
Mm-hmm.
something we can actually hold, right? It's not,
Yeah.
so it's intangible. So this is a very good word to remember and to use. So it means difficult or impossible to define. It's vague, I guess. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So her ability to inspire and lead a team is intangible and difficult to measure, right? Okay. So I will use intangible. So I would say, Jinlian, you are a very good software developer, uh, right? Our skills in sales and in software developing are intangible because we cannot quantify or we cannot judge how important we are to the company.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How would you use this for your position, your job?
Mm. We suggest not to use this function during go live because there are so many intangible and difficult and not say this. Uh, we don't suggest to use this function during the go live. It's tangible and difficult to know the risk
Yes.
because this is the first time for all of us to use it.
Yes. Good. And by the way, I just noticed this, right? So, the C1 level means you're fluent, you are a master, you're fluent in that language, right? So this, right, goes to show how good you are in English, right? So you, right, have much confidence because I still don't think I can speak at a C1 level. That means you're like a native speaker, right? When you can do
Mm-hmm.
that, when you can use at a C1, right? So it's like, A, B, C, right? So C,
Mm-hmm.
but is the highest, right? It's reverse. Do you know this,
C is
Jinlian?
the highest.
Highest, I think, is C3, right? So
C3.
any language would be C3 for me, right? I would hope I'm a
Um,
C3 English speaker, right? 你中文就是你的有一个 C3, right? You are a
yeah.
Chinese C3, but this is like means you are like a native speaker, right? To be at a C
Um,
level, right? Because you start off, it's actually reversed. So it's A, B, and then C is you are like the top, right? So A, B, and then C. So right,
yeah, but
yeah.
in the testing internship, I just have A2.
Yeah, no. So this is good, right? So if when they ask you, because I've noticed on job applications, right, they ask what level are you? So I always say I'm like a B in my French and my Spanish and maybe my Italian, right? And then I say
Mm-hmm.
like I'm A in Chinese. I have like no confidence, right, in my Chinese. But this is good, right? I would definitely put C1, right? When they ask you what your English is. Have you taken these though really quickly, right? And then I know it's hot, right? And well, let's see, but have you taken these, Jinlian, the IELTS? I think is it IELTS? Hold on a second, Deja. Because you could take these very easily, and this would look great on your IELTS test, on the CV. But it's fun. I think it would be fun. I don't know how you're reading, writing, right? I haven't gone with you on this, but you can. But have a look at this, right? This is the famous IELTS.org, right? So this is famous. You can take this test for business professionals, right? English business professionals, right? So if you ever
Okay.
switch jobs and you score well, you put this on your resume. They give you a certificate, right? But this is more for like a British run one. The one that North Americans we use is TOEFL. Let me see this. So yeah, go ahead and have a look at these because I mean your speaking is fabulous. I don't know how and your reading is good, much better than my Chinese. But I don't know what your because they test in reading, writing a little bit too, right? But have a look at these too because I know they give these exams in Guangzhou, right? And so for business professionals, right? So if you score well, like if you ever change jobs, right, and you work for an international company, right? It looks great, right? I think to have these scores. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it was just difficult for me for the
No,
TOEFL.
no. I mean, you would your speaking, you would get an 8 or 9. You would get at the top, right? But they also do reading and writing, right? So that maybe you'd have to study for
Yeah, I
that. But
think.
you could do the test today in the speaking, and you would get top score. But it's a 3 part, right? A 3 part test. I always wanted to take the SK, the HSK, right, which is the Hong Kong for foreigners, right? It's for the Chinese version, but I'm all my reading and writing. I'm like, no way. But yeah, it's the same, right, for English, so to take those exams. But okay, yeah, sorry, we talked the whole class anyway, so
Yeah,
yeah,
that is
but
happy.
yeah, but that was great. Okay, and then tomorrow I'll give you a little. 我给你还有一个小，你知道我是一个孤老师，我给你一个小考，明天. All right, I'll give you a little test tomorrow on everything. All right, tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, 再见，拜拜，拜拜，尽量，
Okay,
拜
bye
拜，拜
bye.
拜，再
See you
见，拜拜，
tomorrow.
拜拜，拜。